Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the Into the Weekend with BetDSI show for Week 14 in the NFL. Of course, we do this show every week, and we are talking right now with Brent, the headlines manager at DSI Sportsbook. DSI takes all the action that exists out there, from the sharps, the big public players, and the mid-range and small public players, everything in between. And we're going to get Brent's insights into the action that he's taken over the course of the week, NFL Week 14, leading up to Friday. Brent, thanks so much for being back with us.
Glad to be with you, Peter.
All right. The first game I want to ask about is Seattle at Green Bay, right? A lot of problems sort of circling around Green Bay as a team. Seattle's starting to play well. Now, we know that the public in general likes to bet both of these teams, so maybe I would guess that the public action is split here, despite the fact that Green Bay has been playing so well recently. Sharp action, I don't know, but it's certainly an interesting game from a handicapping perspective. I'm going to predict you're going to tell us that the public action is basically split down the middle.
Yeah, this is one of those games where, we don't get too often where I can tell you that the sharp action is split down the middle and the public is as well.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, and the great thing for us is that we haven't had to move off the number. Now, a lot of times when I say number, we're talking about 3. We've adjusted the juice back and forth, which is no problem for us at all. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you when you're getting sharp action on both sides of the game, you're talking about a situation where you've opened 3, gone up to 4.5, and got money back the other way, and you might the number might land 3 or 4, and you get kind of in a little bit of trouble. But this game here is one of those games where it's nice for us in that we have sharp action. I got Packers sharp action +3 -120. The line's kind of around there right now, and we also took sharp action on Seattle -3 +05. So in reality, we've only had to move this game 5 cents to get sharp action on both ways. So if we could book a game like this all the way throughout, would be fantastic for us, because I look at my wager count and it's almost like, when I factor in straights, parlays, teasers, everything, it's almost like dead even. So the public obviously likes both sides of this game, and again, you're talking about 2 very name brand teams, we'll call them, in Green Bay. Despite being 6-6, they've won a couple of games in a row. They are at home, and people always like to get behind Green Bay. I mean, they're generally speaking, they're going to put up some points. So people like teams like that, and of course Seattle's been a very good team for quite a while now. They're sitting 8-3-1 on the top of their division. So it's going to be on the field, it should be a great game, and for us right now, it looks like it's going to be a really good game because the volume on this game is going to be outstanding. Our volume is balanced, and I got sharps to both ways. I mean, you really can't ask for much more.
Yeah. All right. Well, my theory, Brent. When you have two-way sharp action, my sense is that means that the favorite is probably the way to go. So I'm leaning Seattle based on what you just told me right there. And then the next game I want to ask about, another road favorite, Dallas on the Sunday night game against the Giants. Dallas, of course, been an absolute juggernaut, both ATS and straight up. But the last 2 weeks, the market has caught up. They won their last 2 games straight up, but did not win their last 2 games ATS. Now they're a relatively small favorite on the road against the Giants, although I did see a market move recently from 3 to 3.5. So someone's been betting Dallas, whether that's public or public money or sharp money, not exactly sure, but it's an interesting situation. Sunday night football, the Giants has a home dog. What can you tell us, Brent?
Yeah, we want to backtrack to the Seattle Green Bay game just for a second, because you said that when sharps are both ways, generally the favorite is the right side.
I've told you this many times, Brent. That's my theory.
Yeah, no, I just thought, being the disciplined individual that you are, when you got sharps on both sides of the game, you just keep your hands in your pocket and your money there as well.
No, I'm afraid if the sharps are taking the dog and the favorite, I'm usually leaning towards the favorite, at least in college and NFL.
Is there a game you don't bet on, Peter?
I try not to let that happen, but yes, it does happen sometimes, yes.
All right, on to the matter at hand. Cowboys at Giants. Yeah, I mean, we've seen some big line movement on this game. The Cowboys were a 3-point favorite. It was I think it was like 3 -120 earlier. We're up to 3.5 -115 on this game, and again, America's team, whatever they are, but the Cowboys are getting a whole lot of support from the public as well here, and sharp money too. Now the sharp action I took on this game, -3 -120, that did come on Dallas, so the move was straight to 3.5. I've got nothing but but public money on the Cowboys as well, which is no surprise, even though they're on the road. My wager count's almost 4-1 favoring the Cowboys right now. So, we're going to be sitting around waiting for some money to come back on the Giants. And it's one of those spots where, even though, one sharp has already played this game, they played Dallas -3 -120. You kind of get the feeling that, the Giants may be one of those teams where, if you just wait long enough in game time, it might be close to kickoff, whatever. Eventually you might see some money back the other way. Now, as a general rule, we've been in a pretty good spot when you're you're talking about a Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night game where you need the home dog. It's it's one of those games where everyone's watching and stuff like that. The effort may be better from the home dog, whatever it is. But it's usually if you look long term, you'd probably say home dogs on those marquee games has done quite well. Now I don't have any sharp action back on the Giants the other way right now. If this line continues to climb, you can know it. It's probably public money driving that as well in terms of the sharps who have already spoken. If it moves dramatically, maybe it's heavy sharp action. But if it does come back the other way, if you see this creep up to like say 4 or 4.5, and then boom, it shuffles back down to 3.5, it'll probably be because of sharp action back the other way. Now I don't know which way the sharps are going to go after this, but I do kind of get the feeling that the Giants could be one of those teams where they do come back on.
But you did take list action on Dallas at 3 minus 120.
Absolutely, positively.
Wow. All right. Interesting stuff there. And then the next game I want to ask you about is Minnesota-Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is just an ugly team in general. They're just not. They're not inspiring confidence. It just feels like if you bet them, even if they're looking like they're going to cover easily, at a certain point they're going to blow the game and blow your bet as well. They're a home dog to Minnesota, a team that I know early in the season the Sharps were all over, and I believe the public was as well. But they've sort of had some struggles in the middle of the season as well. This is an interesting line, -3, -125, -120. I'm seeing from Minnesota. I'd be very surprised if you told me that that Jacksonville is an ugly dog the Sharps took this week.
Yeah, I'm not going to surprise you with this one.
Okay.
But talking about ugly dogs, I do want to, if you don't mind us backtracking to last week's game between the Colts and the Jets, the Monday night game. And that was, I just want to mention it because if we talked about the line movement, I mean, we did this show. I think the line was the Sharps had come in on the Jets +2. Mm-hmm. By kickoff, that game was like -1 or -1.5 of the Jets being the home favorite. And we had this is like it just almost never happens. We had 4 different sharps on the Jets.
Wow.
No sharps the other way at all. It was just one of those games where, I mean, the public was pounding the other side, so I was sitting here thinking, I'm in a great spot because I don't have 1 or 2 guys. I got 4 different guys, all on the Jets.
And all of them wrong.
7 minutes in, it was 14-0 or whatever it was. I mean, it was just, it was uncanny. I mean, you usually don't see situations like that where you've got 4 different guys all the same way, nobody but public acting the other way. And it's just like, it happens, I guess. What can I say? Like I would have, if I was doing one of those the phone services, whatever, I would be saying, jump on this game. Like,
right.
One side, sharps all up the other side. Take it to the bank kind of thing. But we got taken to the bank in this case. On to the matter at hand, Vikings at Jaguars. No, I won't be sitting here trying to, spin something some way to tell you, convince you away that the Jaguars are the play this weekend because they don't seem to be. Now, I don't have any sharp action on Minnesota either, so I'm not going to be saying that that's the way to go. But yeah, I mean, Jacksonville's sitting there at 2-10. It's funny with Jacksonville. I mean, they're such a bad team, but their division is just so bad as well. It's like you've got Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee right now, all at 6-6. It's like, Jacksonville, if they were just a little bit better, they'd be in the thick of things, and that's kind of a sad comment on that division. But I do have nothing but public money all involved in this game so far. So my dollar volume isn't huge because it's public money, nothing big, no big bets yet. We are sitting with Minnesota -3, -125 now. Yesterday we were -3, -120, so it's kind of creeping that way. In terms of big bets, I've got almost no big bets at all. I've got a couple sniffs that came in on Jacksonville +3.5, -110. But my wager count almost 10-1 in terms of parlays, teasers, and all that all together favoring Minnesota. So this is a very one-sided game for us in terms of the count so far. I could see this going back up to 3.5 because I mean, who wants to get behind Jacksonville right now?
Yeah. All right. So 2-way action on Seattle, Green Bay. One early sharp hit on Dallas at -3, and that's it for the sharp action that you told us about so far. What else can you tell us about notable action from NFL Week 14?
I've got a ton of sharp action this week, and I don't know if people are just deciding, well, there's not a whole lot of college going on, so I'm going to fire now on everything in NFL. But it is what it is. I've got a lot of sharp action here. I'm going to start with the big division game here between Houston and Indianapolis. Colts are at home to Houston. Now, Houston obviously hasn't looked very good lately. Even when they were winning games, they tend to not look very good, but they've lost 3 in a row, and the Colts off that big win at the Jets, we'll call it. The line here has gone from 6 to -6.5, -15 for the home favorite Indianapolis, and that was sharp money that came on the Colts.
Oh, now they like them. Now they like them.
Yeah, well, yeah, they say, hey,
sharp guys. You can't pull the wool over their eyes too easily.
Say, wow, they look good against the Jets, so they must be really good in this spot.
Right. I think the same way too. Sure. Anytime I have
Yeah,
a
no,
huge loser, I'm betting on the team that beat me the next week, so maybe I'm a sharp as well.
Yeah. Again, I mean, nothing has anything to do with another. They're just obviously going to like the way that the two teams, the direction these two teams are going, and obviously matchups and kind of stuff like that. I think Houston's got some injuries in their secondary as well that could play into it. But, I don't delve into that stuff. I just look at the numbers and report what's there. And we have sharp action, like I said, on the Colts as the home favorite, -6. We're sitting at 6.5, -115 right now. In terms of my wager count, almost 3-1 favoring the Colts, which is no surprise at all. I don't have any sharp action involved on the total, but my wager count is almost 2-1 favoring the over. We're sitting on a total right now of 46.5, so maybe no surprise here that the public's betting the Colts games over because they tend to do that on a regular basis. Cincinnati and the Browns.
Oh boy!
Drum roll! Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, here it comes. He's going to tell us to bet on Cleveland again.
Yeah, I was going to say that when you said there's a lot of sharp action this week, I was going to say, well, there's kind of a lot of ugly dogs that I'm seeing this week, so maybe they hit most of those ugly dogs. Is this one of them?
Well, I mean, the Browns are an ugly dog, but I guess they're so ugly that not even the Sharps want to touch them right now.
Wow.
You're looking at a line right now. It's kind of climbed up, I think, from like 4 -15, 4.5. This line was. We're sitting at 5.5 right now. So it's crept up that way because the public action is betting Cincinnati. And again, I mean, Cincinnati's sitting at 4-7-1, so they're not that great, but looking back, they're 4 games better than Cleveland for whatever that's worth. But yeah, I've got a wager count almost 6-1 favoring Cincinnati. No surprise there. The sharp action that I do want to talk about, though, of course, is on the total. We're sitting at 41 right now. I took sharp action at 40 under the 43. Yesterday we were 42. Today we're 41. So that's going one way. Again, could it be weather related? Maybe. Could it be that these teams are really, really bad? Probably more likely. So we're sitting at a total right now of 41. Sharp action did come under 43. That was where the first hit came. Talking about two-way action, I just want to mention the Steelers and Bills game right now because I do have sharp action both sides of that game. I took sharp action on Pittsburgh -2, and I took sharp action on Buffalo +2.5. Now, if you look on the board right now, you say, well, the line's 3-20. I mean, 3-20 is not far from 2.5, so it's been a bit of a move towards Pittsburgh's side, but that's basically just public money now. I'm looking at my wager count on this one. It's almost 6-1 favoring Pittsburgh, so that's why it's crept up. But I just want to note that there is solid two-way action that way on this game in terms of the -2 on Pittsburgh and the +2.5 on Buffalo, the home dog there. Arizona and Miami, right below that gaming rotation number. I have sharp action here on this game. Now, Arizona went from a small dog to a small favorite, which they are right now. They're sitting as a 2-point favorite at Miami right now. Sharp action came in on Arizona +1.
Wow.
So we've got like a 3-point line move there. So that's quite a bit. But it's, once you go through pick and stuff like that, it's maybe not so noteworthy. Wager count on this game, almost 2-1 favoring Arizona as well. So the public's behind them. And it's interesting. It takes a while, I guess, in terms of your mind to adjust to teams that just aren't as good as they used to be, and that might be the case with Arizona. I mean, they were a really good team last year, and they have not a whole lot has changed in terms of the lineup and stuff like that. But now they're sitting at 5-6-1, so it's just one of those things where they're just not the team they used to be. Maybe it's just not their year. Things aren't matching up for them. But this is a case where I do have sharp action on them right now. And again, you look at Miami 7-5. It's like, wait a second, Miami's got the better record, and they're at home, but now they're the dog. But I did take sharp action on Arizona, so take that for what it is.
Okay.
The Chicago Bears, I got sharp action on them as well.
Wow.
I just got a ton of sharp action this week. Sharp action, this is the Bears at the Lions. Now, again, ugly-looking Bears team, a Lions team who's 8-4 right now, who's won 4 games in a row. But let's not forget the Bears are on a winning streak of. Well, is one game count as a streak, Peter?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I was thinking that the Bears might be an ugly dog with value this week, and you've just confirmed it. Although I didn't have the guts to pull the trigger when the value was there. Maybe it's not there anymore, but they liked it, huh? The Sharps.
Yeah, I mean, ugly dog. At least we got half of that equation, right? And
yeah.
they are a dog and they are ugly.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is that the Sharps are on them now. Again, sharp action came on Chicago +7.5. We're down to 7 -120 right now. Looking at my wager count, this one's like 7-1 favoring the Lions. So no surprise at all. Just got a ton of money, ton of public money all over the Lions. But we got sharp action on the Bears, and again, maybe getting a touchdown is worth it. And they've played decent defense lately, and so have the Lions actually as well. So it's just one of those games. New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay. Another game here where I've got sharp action. Again, just like I said, a ton of sharp action this week already. The sharp action that I have on this game came in on New Orleans, and that came in on +3 -115.
Yep.
So they're a road dog, +3 -115. Right now we're down to -2.5 on Tampa Bay, and the dog is still 15. So we've moved the full point off to 3, and we've kept the juice on the dog 15. So +3 -115 is where it came in on New Orleans. And wager count, kind of surprised here because New Orleans is one of those teams you know the public is always going to get behind and stuff like that. But this is a case where maybe they're taking note of Tampa Bay, who's won 4 games in a row. They're at home and stuff like that. So I've got a wager count almost 2-1 favoring Tampa Bay, which I find just a little bit surprising because New Orleans money is never hard to find for us, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Another side for you. Washington's at the Eagles, a couple of teams who probably had higher expectations this year, sitting at 6-5 or 6-5-1 and 7-5 here. Washington's lost 2 in a row. Philadelphia's lost 3 in a row. But I have sharp action on Washington -1. They were the road favorite -1, sitting as a favorite now at -2.5. So that line's moved a 1.5. Public money is all over Washington as well, almost like 5-1 my wager count. So one of those bad spots for us in terms of sharp action and public money, both on Washington. Again, the sharp action came in on Washington -1. We're sitting at 2.5 right now. Ugly dogs, ugly games. We have those Jets again, Jets and San Francisco. And no, I'm not going to tell you to jump on either side of this game, but I will tell you that we took sharp action on the under of this one. So that kind of might make more sense. If bad teams can't score, at least they can stop someone maybe. Under 44.5 is where the sharp action came in on this one. We're sitting at 43.5 right now. My wager count also favored the under in terms of the actual number of bets I've taken, almost 2-1 favoring the under as well. So that's kind of worth note that maybe the public is looking at this game saying, well, neither of those teams can score much, so they're kind of on the under as well. But under 44.5 is where that sharp action came in. Finally, an ugly dog for you that I'm going to try and spin some way of having you bet on them.
The Rams.
The LA Rams.
There
the
you
Rams
go.
at home, the Falcons, yeah. And this, again, like the Falcons, they start out quite well, and you kind of get the perception that they maybe are better than they are. If you're looking at their record, they're 7-5, and it's not like maybe they haven't been blowing people away. Now, the Rams are only 4-8, so it's not like they're great. They've lost 3 in a row as well, but they are home, and I'm getting 6.5 is where the Sharps came in. So +6.5 -110 is where they came in on the Rams. Right now, we're seeing the Falcons as a 6-point favorite. Lo and behold, I've got a wager count almost 10-1 on the Falcons. So if anyone wanted, to be convinced that the public doesn't bet on bad teams, this is the case right there. 10-1, the wager count favoring the Falcons. They're a road favorite now, 6 points. Sharp action came in on the Rams, plus the 6.5. Just down to the last game, which will be Monday night. I'm not going to sell you on either one of these, Peter, but I do want to mention that I have good two-way action on this game, which I'm kind of surprised with. Typically we get bombarded with Patriots money. It's the Patriots at home to Baltimore on Monday night. They're a 7-point favorite right now. I've actually got them 7, dog 15 right now, and a total of 44.5. So the Patriots are, generally speaking, they're a team that we, as I always tend to say, is the next time you actually need the Patriots to win, well, that'll be the first time because we never seem to need them to win. But I do have sharp action on both sides this one. We took sharp action on the Patriots -7, -05, and also took sharp action on the Ravens +7, -05. So kind of a good spot for us in that we haven't had to move off the number in terms of tracking action both ways. But I do have sharp action both ways of this game, so it's a good spot for us. My wager count, actually, I expect it to be way one side towards New England already, but it's not too bad, actually, which is quite surprising. Maybe 1.5, not even 2 times favoring New England. So maybe the touchdown is scaring some people away or convincing them to bet on Baltimore. But right now, this looks like a good game for us in terms of how it sets up. In terms of the action that I'm going to take in here, I'm sure I'm going to take a lot of Patriots money, so I'll probably be 7 flat, maybe 7-15. We'll see how it goes. But as of right now, we're using 7 dog 15. It seems to be working for us. So just noteworthy that I have good two-way action on the Baltimore-New England game. The Seattle-Green Bay game, as you mentioned, was good two-way action. Pittsburgh and Baltimore as well. And other than that, just a ton of sharp action. I think we touched on the Colts, the Browns under, Arizona, the Bears plus the 7.5. We had the Saints +3, Washington -1, the Jets under 44.5, the Rams +6.5. Just a ton of sharp action this week, Peter.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Two-way action on Baltimore and New England. I gave Baltimore officially as a pick in our shows here, but I gave them when it was at 7.5. So not good to hear though that sharp guys did like Baltimore. Did like the Pats at -7, -105. Awesome info as always, Brent from BetDSI. We'll talk to you next week for NFL Week 15.